Hey guys, Erin, HappilyWeGo here with another Strumpet Stencils project. So this is the album jelly printed journal that we created. We're doing a round robin, and I will link the original video from Sarah down below, and you can see how to make your own journal like this. So I want to add a couple final decorations to the cover. This is just an album cover I picked up at Goodwill for like 50 cents and then cut it up. And this project made me realize that I am not so good with jelly printing, but hey, it's something that I can work towards in the future. So I'm just adding some gold washi to the ends here to kind of bring out that gold that was on the front of the cover there. See, so that'll be fun. And then I'll do the same thing on this side as well. So as I mentioned, we're going to do a round robin journal. So everybody on the design team created a journal, and then we're going to do the first page on the inside ourselves. So that's what I'm going to create with you today, is this page here and then probably the inside cover. And then we're going to mail it to the next person in line, and then it's going to go through everybody in the design team. So at the very end, we're going to have, each person will have their own journal filled with art from everybody, which I think is so exciting. I'm super excited about this, but I'm also a little nervous too because I don't know. Anyways, it's going to be so much fun. So I'm grabbing one of the Doily stencils here, and I will put everything that I use down in the description box below. If you are watching this on YouTube, that is where everything will be found. So I just have a dauber of paint here, and it wasn't mixing very well, so now I've just got a paintbrush and plain water, and I'm blending it all over the place. Yes, I know I just totally painted over that page. I have no idea what I'm doing with this layout today, but I am just going to go where the layers lead me. We'll call it intuitive art today. So, whoops, I'm just using some underpaper here that was on the floor, and then I flipped it over and was like, wait a second, that might be kind of fun with all the different colors and patterns, and I'm just gonna glue it down. So everything's still a little bit wet, but I'm grabbing some matte medium, just using my fingers and smudging it all over, and we're gonna glue that on down. And then as I'm not sure what I want to do over top of it, I'm going to go ahead and matte medium over the top of everything, and that'll help kind of glue it down to the page as well so it won't pull up. And then we'll do this piece over here as well, and then dry it up. So I sort of covered up that stencil, but I really wanted this stencil to kind of be like the middle focal piece in the project. So I started with this Montana acrylic marker here, and it wasn't fully dry, so I think maybe that's why it wasn't working. And I was totally going to cut this out, but at the same time I wanted to leave it in to show everybody that art doesn't always come easy, you know, like it's just a hot mess sometimes, and you just got to roll with it, and that's okay. So don't think that every time you watch people on YouTube and they cut stuff out and you're like, wow, they're amazing, they never make mistakes. Oh no, they do. They just don't want you to see them. But I'm leaving it for real right now so you can see all my mistakes. But at least I'm speeding them up so you don't have to be like, oh Lord, this is crazy. So now I just have a Faber Castell big brush marker, and I was just kind of coloring in over those. I'm not sure where I'm rolling with it, but I know I wanted a little bit of the green in there. And then I wasn't liking that either. So now I'm just going to take some white, this is titanium white paint, and from Lukas Acrylics, and a brayer, and I'm just brayering over the top of this. When you're kind of not sure what you want to do, you're kind of not liking where it's going, and just add some white, you know, go all over it. So that's what I'm doing, which almost seems like I'm going to start over. I'm not. I'm going to use these as layers, and we're just going to roll with the layers. And then make sure you dry that really well. All right, so round 3 with this stencil, and this time it's going to be the winner. I have some Dylusions ink spray, and I'm just going to spray it over it, and then flip it over and just kind of get off some of that excess paint. It doesn't really show up much, but you know, it gets a little bit here and there. And then dry that really well. Now we're talking, now we're getting somewhere. So I have this stamp that I carved way back in December for Julie Faye Fan Bolzer's Carved December, and that was a lot of fun. And I just thought, let's do some of these sprigs along the side here. I'm using the Versafine Onyx black ink, and it does stay wet longer, but it's also a waterproof ink. So when you're finished stamping, make sure that you dry up that layer before moving on so you don't smudge it. I have this really cool typewriter washi from, I think it's 7 Gypsies, and I'm just going to add that down on the bottom here and then just rip off the excess and put it on different parts of the layout. Now I have just my drawing fountain pen, and it has a really fine point, and this is permanent black ink, and I'm just drawing some wonky circles with some lines along here. I'm feeling like I just want some lines. And I'm not keeping them in the circle, I'm just doodling along. And I don't know what else to do, but I always feel like I should add, you know, there's some of the kind of hot pinkish color in the background. So I thought maybe I would color these little berries. I would outline them in hot pink. Added a couple extra doodles, and then on the side of my desk I have this bin of scraps, and I cut these little gears out forever ago, and I thought, why not put those on the layout? So I'm just kind of lining them up, getting an idea of where maybe I want them, and I'm going to matte medium those down. They are a thicker cardstock, so they're a little bit heavier duty, so I'm not too worried about them falling apart. I'm just worried about them falling off. And then once I have them kind of lined up, we'll just get the rest of the glue on there and then dry it up. Now I have this Brea Reese acrylic. It's a beautiful yellow. It's almost like a buttercream color. And I just decided I wanted to go along the outside of the page, sort of brighten it up some because it's kind of dark. And I'm going to go over top of that washi. The paint will also help the washi stay down so it won't pull up. After it was all dry, I grabbed that pink pen again and decided to color the gears in instead of leaving them brown. It's just going to have this pop of color. And I know right now this layout looks really strange. It's kind of like all crazy, but it gets pulled together, I promise you. So I'm just going to color these in, and then I'll also use like a purplish color as well for the other gears. After I finished coloring in the purple, I used that same purple pen and just drew some extra lines around there to bring that purple in, and then color in a couple of the little berries that purple color too. So instead of having floating gears, I thought I'm going to use one of Sarah's newest stencils. There are these little heads, and then they also have a saying that goes inside of them, but I just wanted to use the head as a silhouette. So I put those gears inside because, hello, we all have gears in our heads spinning around with ideas, and I thought perfect, and that would also ground those gears instead of just floating out in space. So I have a black Faber-Castell big brush marker, and I've traced around it, and now I'm going to go ahead and color it all in. So at this point I thought I wanted to color in the wheels and just have them, the bright colors spinning out, But then after I started this one, I thought, you know what? No, I don't like that. I actually liked the color from the background peeking through. So to get it up, I just used some water, and this is the great thing about big brush markers on top of matte medium, is you have a little bit of time before they dry. So I'm just taking some water, sticking it in, and then using a cloth here and just wiping it back out. So it'll be slightly more grungy in those areas, but it's still gonna be okay. And then I dried it, and of course now I have to re-add the pink, but I won't make you sit through that. We'll just fast forward. Now I have another Faber Castell Pip pen. This is just a smaller brush pen, so I could get into those little nooks and crannies there of the gears where they touch to finish off the black of the silhouette. And then I wanted to brighten up where I used that fountain pen, so I'm just going to draw the lines a little bit thicker here so they stick out more. And this is kind of like her head in the circle, and then just darkening some of those lines. I'm not being too particular. They can be in different places. It's not a big deal to me. I'm kind of liking it. Now I'm going to grab that other big brush marker, and I'm going to grunge out the outside a little bit here. I wasn't super, like, I was liking the white, but you know me, I like to have a black edging around, or some sort of edging to give the piece more of a finished look. So that's what I'm doing here. Now I feel like it's sentiment time, so I'm going to break out those Tim Holtz sentiment stickers, and instead of just you know, making, like, putting one on, I wanted to put a whole bunch on that sort of, you know, kind of all went together to tell a little story. And as this journal is going to be traveling all over the world, actually, because there's a few design team members that are overseas, so this journal is going to really tell a story. It's going to go all over different places. It's going to be on a journey, and I wanted this first opening page to kind of remind me, you know, my future self, of the cool places that this journal went. To add that last little one over there, the journey is the destination, because, you know, I'm excited. This is going to be so much fun. So now that we have our sentiments down, I wanted to pull in a little bit more of the color, so I'm going to go around each sentiment with that purple, that bright purple pen. Adding just a little bit more purple in that circle, some doodles. And now I'm going to take another fountain pen, and I'm just going to draw a really wonky, wiggly line all the way around to frame the piece. The stickers were kind of pulling up just a little bit, so I thought I would slap on some matte medium real fast over the top to help stick them down for their long journey. And then, of course, dry those really well. I have to somehow make sure that everyone knows this journal is mine in case they get confused. So I wrote Erin's journal in some white gel pen. And then I thought, wouldn't it be cute if I wrote it all the way, just keep writing it all in the inside of the circle there? So that's what I did, and that is going to finish off the very first layout in my traveling art journal. I hope you guys enjoyed creating with me today. It was a bit of a journey to get here, but like the sticker says, the journey is the destination. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Be sure to check out Sarah's shop, strumpetstencils.com, where you can get yourself some awesome stencils too. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, happy creating.